So I'm in a talkative mood today, and I'm basically going to give my account to, or about rather, um, the caravan that went through downtown Portland in about 2019 that was comprised of a bunch of pro-Trump protesters, and I was part of that. Um, I was in a 1976 Buick Skylark, and I mean I love that car, but that's a side thing. Um, and so I was part of that caravan, and it's been so long. It's hard for me to remember the times. It's hard to. It's crazy. It's been like 4 years, almost 4 years. But I remember. I mean, it was evening that we were rolling through actual downtown. I remember it was like getting dark. So um, I remember it was like we were rolling down 99 north, and then um, you know the caravan was still going up until the bridge, and it was stop and go, of course, because there were cops and shit. Well, no, there was like a fight on the Steel Bridge or something like that, or the Hawthorne Bridge or some shit like that. The one we were going over, and so it was stop and go, and I accidentally bumped somebody, but it didn't end up being a big deal. It just like was a spectacle for the hecklers, which I mean I really hated how I gave them something to point and laugh at, but you can't win everything. But anyways, I mean, things were really awesome. You know, lots of flags, lots of it was super high spirits and things like that. And then got up to the bridge, and we're told that, I mean, we're motioned along by the cops up there, and I didn't know at the time, but it was, I think it was somewhere around like 8 p.m. that Jay was shot. Um, and that was the guy that Jay is the guy that was shot through the heart as he was walking through downtown Portland, by the guy that said, I think he said like, I'm 100% Antifa or something like that, and was interviewed by Vice and all that, and later was killed by U.S. Marshals, which sort of it was disappointing for me. I wanted to see him be brought in, but that of course didn't end up happening. But yeah, around that time I was crossing the bridge, I think, or I was near the bridge. A bunch of us were, and then everybody just started dissipating. Um, like I crossed the bridge, and I saw like one or two, like, it was weird how everybody was acting. I didn't know at the time that had happened, and it was really put off. It was like, where did everybody go? Like, why is everybody just splitting off and like basically running, you know? And so like I like went through downtown Portland looking for the rest of the caravan, and I had people pulling up next to me, like cussing at me, and like making signs at me, and like some like black chicks even like pulled up and like put their ass out the window and shit like that, and were like yelling some shit I couldn't really understand. It was really weird. It was really, really, really weird. And um, And it's not like I wasn't. I mean, I was kind of scared at the time because I didn't know where the caravan was. I wanted to get back with everybody because I felt like I was the outlier. Um, but that wasn't the case. It just everybody just dissipated. Um, and after that, I guess I just like started going home. I crossed, I think, I can't fucking remember, one of the bridges and got back on I-99 or whatever the fuck, or I-90, or the one that turns into McLaughlin Boulevard. Um, and on one of the red lights there, I had another fucking group of dudes. Well, I mean, I mean, there was, it looked to me like a Hispanic group or Asian group or something like that. But it was a group of four, in like a Civic, and I wasn't taking any chances, so I didn't pull up next to them. You know, I stayed like to their like 7 o'clock because I didn't want to get shot. And I didn't even know that it happened at the time, that fucking dude had been shot, until I got back home. But just all these encounters were really off-putting. Like, I was really expecting some sort of like confrontation, like somebody was gonna get out in front of my car or some shit. Um, Nobody ended up doing that, thank God. But um, honestly, I mean, given that I didn't know what had happened, I probably would have taken the bait anyways, because I was. Um, I don't want to say type of person because I still am the person I am, right? But I like, back then, I was in the mood to get into some fights, right? Um, and that's pretty much it. I got home, saw what had happened, and that they had put out like a message that said basically like, everybody go home. Um, something bad just happened. Um, and I looked into it further and saw that Jay had passed away. So that was really tough. Um, I mean, and I'm not. Of course, I didn't know him. Um, Seemed like a cool guy, given the pictures that he liked guns, was a patriot. Um, of course, I don't. Again, I don't know much about him, but he seemed like it's somebody that I could sit down and have a beer with and be friends with, and so it was somber for a lot of us. And that's it. Sort of also, I don't want to send. I don't want to. I want to say that he sent the killer sent a message, because that's not. I don't want to ascribe anything to that guy. I don't even want to. I don't even want to mention his name. I just want him to be forgotten about. But the message we received is basically that we're not safe. And these years, um, these almost 4 years since, with all the killings, have definitely proven that point. you know. And I'm just gonna go out and say this, and I know this is on record, you know, and I know that law enforcement can of course pull this and you know, say, hey, you said this, you know, and I better not, you know, in the future if that happens, I better not say that I didn't say this, because I certainly did. Um, and what I'm about to say is that basically, um, you guys, we can't we can't continue living normally. That's gone. The world's changed. It's just changed. It's different. It's different than it was in like 2020, and it's different than it was in even 2016, and I mean, of course, everybody knows. It's just, you know, the further back you go, the more different it gets, you know. But at a certain point, we gotta change. Um, I mean, we gotta adapt, you know, in terms of these threats that we face on a daily basis, and um, of course, our government's not gonna. They're not allowing us basically to go through the proper channels, and you know, gain a means of self-defense, as in carrying a concealed firearm legally. Like, they make it super super fucking hard for anyone to do that, you know. And it could, I mean, it could take years, you know. um, Being in Oregon, you know, that's just how it is. um, California, of course, is worse, but we're pretty fucking close to how they're running shit. You know, we don't have crazy AR laws, but we certainly do have. I mean, we're having even Measure 114 pushed, and of course, the measure itself sort of died, but they're trying to get them laws through. Whether we say yes or no is regardless. Or sorry, it doesn't matter if we say yes or no. So what I'm saying here is, it's just me personally. Um, I'm gonna be carrying a firearm, whether somebody says it's okay for me to do that or not. And that being said, I'm not gonna carry it into places where I shouldn't, you know, because I'm not looking for trouble in that sense, because you know, I'm just looking to protect myself in everyday life. I'm not gonna, you know, go out of my way to make myself look like some kind of crazy shooter or something like that. You know, this is purely for making sure I don't die prematurely, um, and making sure other people don't die prematurely, because this is nonsense and it needs to stop. You know, the kids need to stop dying, you know, and the adults too. Everybody, that we need to stop, you know, killing each other. And if that means killing a bad guy, okay. I mean, because the trade off, you know, it's like the fucking, um, it's like the, oh shit, I forget what that's called. Like the tram, um, problem, where it's like you have a diverging track with um, four people on the track and then one person on the track. It's like, would you know, what would you rather do? I'm making that decision in my head right now, and I'm saying the bad guy is the one that's going to go. All right, because that's, you know, one of the options, and that's the option I'm going to take. All right, and this isn't wanton bloodlust. You know, um, this is an individual who's seen a lot of bad shit happen. Of course, everybody has given this news cycle, but um, maybe I'm just somebody who remembers, or maybe looks a little too deep into them. I don't know. Maybe you can be the judge. But um, well, this started as an account and ended up being a statement. So I guess I'm getting off track. Protect your lives. And even Jay was armed. You know, Jay was armed. He was shot in the back, I think. So even that, sometimes it won't protect you. Starting to be a war zone out there, like literally. I have plates. I don't break them out too often, but I have them. Just trying to be prepared. Anyways, that was my account of the Trump 2020 caravan through Portland, and Jay's shooting, and my opinions on carrying a firearm illegally in the United States. So, anyways, stay safe, take care, God bless.